1, go. And we'll just wait for you guys to confirm that we are live. We're live. All right, cool. Welcome everyone to the July 2022 Shade Protocol developer update. Despite the bear market, the building has continued better than ever. We have some super exciting updates ranging all the way from audits all the way to SilkPay, as well as updates on the other primary products. So Dalton, what should we start with here?
Yeah, I think we should go ahead. We should probably go ahead and start with Austin on the front end side of things. I know he has a walkthrough that we're going to go over here. So Austin, if you want to take it away.
Absolutely, I can do that. Let me go ahead and try to share my screen here. Okay, let me know if you guys can see that.
Yep.
All right, so here is a quick video of some of the updates we've made to the front end. You can see here we got this nice little learn slide out, which I'm really excited about. And you may see this and think that we haven't made too many significant changes compared to the current live staking derivatives website. However, I assure you that behind the scenes, there are some pretty intense changes we've made to the infrastructure on the front end to allow the different primitives to talk with one another and really share data across the application page to page. So we've been working very hard to get the app to this point, and we'll go ahead and run this one more time. But yeah, we're super excited to launch version 2 of the application, which will have staking derivatives, bonds, a portfolio page, and integration with our airdrop. The Learn pop-out I'm especially excited about just because we care very deeply about bringing quality educational content about everything that we're building. We want that to be easily accessible for our users so that they can learn how to interact with the various pages and just understand how Shade DeFi works, how it all works together. So I think that's going to be a very important part of our application moving forward. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, super pumped about having the bonds page, the portfolio page, and the SilkPay, of course, on the horizon, and having that Learn tab is something that power users won't get annoyed by, but new users, it's going to be such a helpful little toolbar and resource for them to understand what's going on any of the given apps. So now we can transition to bonds, the audit results. Kyle, if you kind of want to talk through what some of the results were with that and how we're kind of reacting to feedback from the audit.
Sure. So the bonds audit came back, and thankfully there are no massive issues with it. The largest concern was just about decentralization, which of course that we're big on. And so in regards to making sure that the proper boundaries are in place on the bonds contract so that bad actors can't abuse it, and making sure that it's safe for users to use and that the user experience is as streamlined as possible. They just recommended like a governance type structure or time locks or things like that in order to keep it from being abused. And it seems as though that's already within the view of our protocol. That's already what we're trying to do with governance. So good response on bonds, good response from the audit, and think it's going to be a very useful product coming soon.
Very cool. And Dulce, maybe you want to speak to the timeline of bonds at this point.
Yeah, so I know that we were targeting the end of July for bonds to be launched. Unfortunately, in regards to the audit and kind of the timeline that they're on, and then, of course, with the front-end integration of bonds, and since we're doing a complete overhaul of the site and the UX, we are going to be delayed slightly. So we're kind of looking right now that second week of August, anywhere from the probably 10th to the 15th in regards to having bonds fully operational and launched. That is the optimal timeline. So unfortunately, we were pushed back a little bit. But just to let you guys know, it's not because anything was wrong. It's just that we're prioritizing the UX over everything else and just making sure that it's easy to use for everyone that does want to use it. So a little bit delayed, but not to worry. Nothing on the contracts is wrong, like Kyle said. The bonds audit went splendid, but just a little bit delayed.
Awesome. Great update on that front. I suppose now we can shift over to kind of some updates on the primary components, maybe just a brief check-in on the state of Shade. We'll start with Shade Lend, and we can definitely touch on staking and governance. So we'll start with Shade Lend.
So for Lend, we've been making some changes in regard to the architecture to make it a little bit more extensible. There's a lot of features that we wanted to have for Lend that we don't want to rush, and it's also a little premature. So we're making some changes to the contracts to make sure that what we launch is good and secure. And then after we launch, we can add in those new features without forcing people to do something like pay back all of your loans and then migrate all your positions. Obviously, having a smooth user experience is one of our priorities with Lend in particular, because if we get it wrong, it'll be a very bad user experience. We've been fine-tuning the economics as well, because as we get close to launch, we actually have to have hard numbers for things like LTVs and interest rates and so on. So we've been doing a little bit of economic work on that front in regards to the volatility of the assets we're supporting. And that's pretty much it for Lend. Lend is pretty much, I don't want to say pretty much done, but it's coming to a close. And we just have the final audit and reviews to go through for Lend.
Very exciting. Thank you for the update on that front. It's so cool because Shade Lend, of course, will be like happening side by side with Silk. So there's just so much to unpack with utilizing your existing assets on Secret Network and in the Cosmos. It's going to be just unlocking a lot of value for folks. Maybe we can now shift over just brief updates from Swenson on the state of Treasury, and then we'll do brief updates on staking and governance from Guy. And then we'll close with the exciting stuff, drum roll, with some preview of SilkPay.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay. Treasury's going well. We've been doing a lot of bug fixing and testing. It's the main core part is pretty well built out at this point. It's going to be more about integrations with our other apps moving forward. So it's coming on great.
Awesome. Guy?
So for governance and staking, staking is finishing up its final designs, and we're also moving ahead with migrating our contracts to the latest CosmWasm, which should allow us to do IBC. And also, it has some pretty neat things that are going to greatly improve user experience and governance.
Awesome. And how far along would you say governance is?
Finishing off the tests, and it should be back to where it was before the upgrade. So ready for everything here.
Ooh, that's what we like to hear. we'll now shift, now that we kind of got our primary updates on that. I suppose we can give a brief update on Shade Swap as well. There is a functional product on a testnet. There may or may not be some awesome user testing that's getting set up in the next coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that on the Shade Protocol Discord, because we're ready to have people get their hands on Shade Swap and start to play around with it. So that's super exciting. We can now shift over to closing with SilkPay. Judd, take us away.
Hey everyone, if you'll allow me to share my window here, I've got a few brief demonstrations. If that'll, can you see that or no?
Can't see it
Okay.
yet, it's still
We'll
on
try
the
this
full
one more
news
time.
page. Oh.
Yeah, I think you need to select the video.
Well, technical difficulties here momentarily. All right, I'm just going to go into the. Sorry, everyone.
No worries. We were cruising through updates, so we got plenty of time. We're only like 12 minutes in, compared to like our 50-minute marathon updates we've done before. We're getting efficient at monthly updates. I guess in the interim, while Judd's kind of troubleshooting this, so SilkPay is one of the coolest primitives that is in the works. It's going to allow people to safely make funding requests from other people, as well as safely sending money to them. It's right now in crypto, everyone's doing these blind transfers from A to B. And so what we did is we briefly made a communications layer protocol to ensure that your money
Okay,
is
everyone.
actually
So
running at the right
appreciate your
destination.
patience with that. Now we are looking at the landing page for SilkPay, where you've got your options here for a direct transfer, your safe send, an ability to create a request here. And this is what the UX and nav will look like. And we've got the top nav bar here for you've got requests, able to see your incoming requests, any pending transactions that exist, a tab for you to approve a transaction, which you will then be able to say, you're about to transfer funds. This action cannot be undone. Submit that. Anything that's awaiting confirmation, which you can then cancel. These are outgoing requests that have not yet been approved. The ability to cancel those, and an ability to look at your history, any of your transaction histories where you've got your deposits and your withdrawals that you can easily, seamlessly transition between. And if you want to see everything all at once, you're able to hit your all button. You have the ability to go back and look at these things. And there's a second flow as well. And this is just kind of a highlight tip. And that's what we've got for the UX UI of SilkPay, a little sneak peek. Thanks, everyone.
Ooh, very exciting. Well, on that front, we covered all of the product updates to my knowledge. I'll hand the floor over for anyone else has any questions they'd like to ask on this call or any topics they'd like to bring up. Pretty quiet over here. Do we have any questions in the chat, Dalton? Any Q&A?
So currently, I actually don't have my YouTube open. I think Jeremy does though. He usually has it open. I will just plug in normally on some media happenings that I've had. So Carter was recently on a panel on stablecoins with the co-founder of Frax. and Nuon and Stronghold. So if anybody hasn't seen that episode of Carter talking about stablecoins in the state of DeFi, you should go check that out. It's definitely on our Twitter, and you're able to go and look at that. But I now have the YouTube comments in front of me. Someone asked, when fall? It's hot. I want silk now. Fall is normally the time of Q4 for us. So anywhere kind of from that October to December range would be what we consider fall. I guess in the Midwest of the United States, we have all 4 seasons, unfortunately. So we do have an autumn, a summer, a spring, and a winter. Jose asked, when will I be able to pay my Airbnb with Silk? We are currently working on a lot of integrations. Airbnb is not one of them, unfortunately. But thanks for putting that on our list. We will get there as soon as we can. Let's see if I can find any other questions here. But
Airbnb
I don't see any like technical questions about products or anything. If anybody does have a technical question about integrations or products specifically, send those in the chat. We'll give it a couple more minutes here. Melch asked if Jeremy will bring back the shipper stash. I have been trying to get him to bring it back. He doesn't want to bring it back, but it has been something that has been discussed. Okay, here we go. An actual technical question. Will there be a beta/testing phase for public? CryptoChem asked this. Yes, there will be. So I am currently setting up, along with Christian and Fisco, a testing implementation plan, and just how we're going to go through that, how our internal testing is going to look. We already do have that stuff for products, but more specifically, what our external testing process is going to look like. And that's for everything. That's going to be for bonds. It's going to be for SilkPay. It's going to be for ShadeSwap, Silk, and Lend specifically as well. So definitely we have those plans in place. We aren't going to release those yet, but like Carter said, if you're in our Discord, that's where those product announcements are going to be. And so just make sure you're in the Discord, make sure you're staying active and looking out for those announcements. But looks like Red Eye also asked, will SilkPay be usable on mobile? That is something that as soon as we get SilkPay kind of out on desktop and we're good and we're sure that it's going to work and be completely fine, we are going to transition to mobile and make sure that it is a good experience. It would be awesome if we could get a SilkPay app. That would be something really, really cool, especially for recurring payments in regards to institutions or someone who wants to take money for, say, like a newsletter. You'd be able to just have the SilkPay app and everyone would be able to pay their recurring payments in crypto and never have to worry about USD again, which is kind of the golden vision. Jose, I didn't mean it like that. But normally when someone asks about fall, they live somewhere else that doesn't really name it fall. But I don't think you're not intelligent. So, but I do appreciate the humor in the chat. Yeah, I think we could probably call it for questions, Carter. I don't have anything else to add in regards to like media announcements or anything crazy like that. So
the final thing I would say about SilkPay as such a cool product is like there's so many institutions, like even in crypto and retail businesses and folks that want to make payments with crypto privately and they want to be able to do it safely, and SilkPay is like super well positioned to be one of those applications, and just pumped about getting that out to the Secret Network and Cosmos community. So on that note, I think we can round things out here. Thank you everyone for your time. Looking forward to the August update. We have a lot of hard work ahead of us, but the good news is that every day the needle gets a little bit closer to these exciting product launches, and before you know it, the larger community and the larger cosmos is going to know about all these great products that Shape Protocol is bringing. So hope you all have a wonderful day and happy building.
Thanks, everyone.